What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon.
This is Bryce.
Welcome back to Weekly Wrap Up. This is the show where we talk about books that came out this past week. We recap, review them, talk about them, and so on and so forth. There's also a cool little movie segment that Bryce makes me do every single week.
I do. I hold his feet to the fire and say, watch.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. But anyway, guys, this is a special show because Bryce and I got to meet up for the very, very first time. Bryce came down to Maryland. That's where I'm located. Got his beautiful t-shirt. Nice and beautiful Comics Kings t-shirt. And we got to go to Third Eye. We got to go to My LCS Beyond Comics, both of their locations. And we got some really cool stuff. We're really excited to share with you guys, as well as talk about some pretty good books, some pretty bad books that came out, some pretty in-between books. We'll let you guys know. But as always, make sure you guys say hi to us if you're in the chat, like my man Eric right here. We got a few people before.
What's going on, guys?
We got John in here. Let me scroll all the way up because sometimes StreamYard doesn't let me do that. How you doing
62
today,
station, man.
How you doing, bro?
Hockey station. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Steven, Taki?
Yeah,
we got Travis in here. As always, let us know what you guys read this week. 62 read Hoof-Hearted. I don't know if that's a book or not, but let me know if it is. We got Justin Regan and us comics in here. What's going on? We got Steven who read Nubia, Dark Ages, and Batman. Great books that we are going to cover today. We got Real Rude. What's going on, brother? We already said John, Eric in here. We got Missing Link, the third. Three of the four of the Crowns, part of the Comics Kings. We got Sal in here. We got Manny in the house. What's going on? So many awesome people here joining us today. Bryce, what'd you get at Third Eye?
I was actually just about to ask you. Here, I forgot I put it on the shelf. So, at Third Eye, I was able to snag a couple of books here. So, first off, if you guys are into omnis at all, you'll know that Frank Miller's Daredevil is an omnibus that is near impossible to find. And while I did not find it, I found volume 1 of the complete collection trades that are also extremely hard to find.
So you got something that was really hard to find?
Huh?
So you got something that was really hard to find?
This run in general, collected, is just difficult to get. For some reason, I don't know why. My shop has like 3 copies of volume 2, though, so I know I'm set there.
There you go, right on. What's up? We got Canadian Geek joining in. We got Adam in here. What's going on, you guys?
And probably my favorite book that I picked up this entire trip, The Last God, hardcover, and something else cool. While we were at Third Eye, we met up with a friend of ours, Philip Kennedy Johnson, who was able to pen a little signature on there. So it was a blast getting to meet Philip in person. Great guy, great member of the community and the industry. And so this is definitely a prize.
Yeah. Enjoy that Last God
thing in my collection now.
Enjoy that Last God. Last God is such a solid book. I'm super excited you got that. I have it, so I'm due for a reread of it. I read it all digitally. I have not cracked open the hardcover, but it's on as well. So I got Nightwing issue number 2. I love this cover. Absolutely. You guys know I'm a big Nightwing fan. I almost have a full set of trades for Nightwing, at least the series by Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel. But I guess working on some of the issues, just getting some of the cool covers. I recently was hanging out and got the first appearance of Lady Vic in Nightwing number 4 for $1. And this is just another great book in the early days of that Nightwing ongoing series. This, guys, I love it. I love it. I was going to wear a Nightwing shirt, but and okay, Steven, you read Robin too. I painfully read Robin. I got a bunch of different. I got some other stuff. I got this big omnibus of Fantastic Four Volume 2. I don't have Volume 1, so that's something that's going to be on the radar. But
it's getting reprinted, I think, so it's good that you got that one.
Volume 2 collects issues 31 through 60, annuals 2 through 4. So, damn, this is like some of my favorite stuff of Fantastic Four. So, I don't talk about Fantastic Four enough here, but Fantastic Four is like, it's probably on par with my love for X-Men. So, I love, especially like Silver Age Fantastic Four is right there. I got a book that I have not read yet, but that is Paul Dini's Batman, This is Detective Comics he was doing while Grant Morrison was doing their Batman, which I have the third omnibus that I have yet to crack open. So I got that. Paul Dini. I heard you can't go wrong with it, so I trust everyone who's been recommending that. So on and so forth. I got 2 other books. I got Marvel Boy by Grant Morrison, the trade paperback, and I got Ghost Fleet by Donny Cates and Daniel Warren Johnson. That's a property that I have not read yet, and I'm really excited because I love Donny and I love Daniel Warren Johnson. Marvel Boy is a character I'm not familiar with, so I want to get familiar with this character because I've been seeing him pop up throughout comics a little bit sporadically. So that was awesome. It was great meeting up with Bryce. It was fantastic meeting up with Philip at Third Eye. Went out to dinner with Nigel, Desire Comics.
Great guy. Love getting to meet Nigel. I also had a few other things that I forgot about too.
What'd you forget about?
So Beyond Comics. So I'm all about the out-of-print trades. Like, I think they're so cool when I can find them. And I've been trying to put a trade collection of the original New Teen Titans series together. And for some reason, with DC and these classic runs, they'll have like random volumes of trades just impossible to find. And so for New Teen Titans, that was volume 6. And so I was able to find a copy of volume 6 at Beyond Comics.
Yes, sir.
And then awesome. Brandon here hooked me up when he was at Baltimore Comic-Con with some signatures, and I was able to get those this weekend. So if you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics run and just everything he's done on Superman in general. So Brandon was able to snag me the first 2 issues of that run, starting Superman 29 and Action Comics 1029, and get them both signed. So these are definitely getting put up on a wall somewhere eventually.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I thought, like, what 2 books did Bryce love from this run? I was like, it was obviously the first 2.
Oh, the first 2 just made me fall in love with the character of Superman.
Yeah, that's why.
Brandon and our buddy Chet pitched in to get me a New Teen Titans number 14 signed by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. It was a fantastic issue. Perez, excuse me. Thank you. I'm usually the one saying that to you, so thank you.
We got George Perez in here. What's going on, Ronnie boy?
Fantastic
glad
issue
to see you
too.
In here, my man. We got
really
Hawkeye in here. What's going on, Ian?
What's going on, man? Yeah, it's really gave me a newfound love for Beast Boy, or Changeling as he's called in this.
Yeah,
and then Saga number 16 signed by Brian K. Vaughan. I mean, that's all it is. Just a side Saga issue.
Just Saga.
Just Saga. Dude, we are going to be hyped in January when that book comes back.
Oh my gosh! I think there needs to be like a YouTube competition for who geeks out the most about Saga, and I guarantee you we're right up there with Comic Man Andy and Jen and Mars, and and John. I think John geeks out about it. Greg geeks out about it. So I guarantee you we're gonna have a whole Saga party. We should have a whole Saga party. Mark my words. I'm down for that. If anybody wants to join, we're gonna have a Saga premiere watch party on this channel. I'm making it a point to do so. But anyway, let's dive into the books. Let's talk. Okay, John does.
Nice.
So, let's talk about a book that came out this week that many people champion. I'm right there with championing as well. That is Radio Apocalypse by Ron V. I'm not familiar with the artist, Enid RK. If I'm mispronouncing that, my deepest apologies. But this is such a great book. The art's fantastic, coloring's fantastic. So basically, it's a post-apocalypse. It's like a apocalyptic story, obviously by the title. But getting to know all of the different characters in here was such a treat. Getting to see Ron V just do something a little bit different, because Ron V's never really stretched his wings as a writer in comics this way. So if you like Ron V, this is just another element of his storytelling that is just completely worth it for you guys. Usually Ron V is usually gritty, does a lot of foreshadowing, not really heavy on dialogue, but this book was very dialogue heavy. It had a lot of emotional
moments. It was a lot more
moments,
colorful too than I'm used to.
And it was very colorful. So this is definitely out of element for Ron V, which was really shocking. But I was very excited when I read this. This is like, wow, this is a great book. Yeah. So everyone who's championing this book, you need to listen to them and go pick it up. Go treat yourself to this book. It's by Vault Comics. So make sure.
Yeah, this is my first Vault Comics. So I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to them. And I took Robbie's advice with reading this book, along with the advice it gives you in the front flap, which is every time they go to play a song, I listen to that song while I was reading it. Dude, it's okay. I lied when I talked about the colors. I think the last thing I've seen, like, he got colorful in Many Deaths of Layla Starr. That was an extremely colorful book. And so I feel like that's what kind of this reminds me the most of. But this is very much its own thing. And it's incredible. I can't wait until issue 2.
What's up, Big Herm? Off to work. Have a good one. We're rude saying he has not caught up on Saga. But, dude, it's worth it. So it's based on Saga. For anyone who has not read Saga, it's a sci-fi fantasy it's basically combining Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Romeo and Juliet. And it's just world building through the eyes of a younger character, building up as she's growing up. We're growing with the character. We're growing up with the governments and just the separation of everything. It is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. I would say it's in my top 5. It's easily in my top 5. I don't usually make a point to make a top 5, but if I did, it's there. So
it's probably my second favorite Image book of all time.
Yeah. I know yours is Invincible, but I think Saga is over Invincible. The compendium is out right now. I still think it's on sale at Amazon. Or organic price
right now, actually.
Pick it up. It's worth it. It's a big book, but it reads so quickly. Fiona Staples really does a great job. As long as you can, we're all adults. As long as you can handle some adult themes, you're fine.
Yeah, as of this moment, it is on Amazon for $47.99 in the US.
Yeah.
So definitely worth picking up. 100%.
Right. 2021 has been the year Rom V proved he can run laps around most riders 100%.
And still be slept on somehow.
What's really cool about Rom V and a lot of these newer writers is we're in an era where we're almost superheroed out. Like a lot of other YouTubers really preach that they're not about the capes. Yes, it has the whole story.
It has all 54 issues. So there's going to be a total of 2 compendiums, probably.
Yeah. So when Rom V's writing his superheroes, Swamp Thing, Venom, they're not superheroes, but they're part of that universe. It feels so niche and it feels so independent that it's just a whole new perspective. And then it's independent work as well. It just brings classic Vertigo vibes, just a great storytelling to the industry where it just makes comics exciting. Rom V's making comics exciting. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to see what he specifically has in store with us. Dan Watters is another one that's key to mention. Philip Kennedy Johnson, Michael Conrad. These are all your next huge writers. These guys are all awesome and putting out great work. So make it a point to follow them.
I would even go as far as to say if you're not caped out yet, and I'm going to talk about one of his books here in a sec, Jed MacKay is one to definitely keep an eye on.
All right, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about Moon Knight. Why not? Brandon asked me what my pick of the week was. Pretty much every time Moon Knight comes out, there's a good chance it's at least going to be a contender for pick of the week.
It's been fantastic. It's been a joy to read this book.
This book's phenomenal. Perfect for new readers to Moon Knight too, which is what I am.
JT!
What's going on, man? Station. So we start out with similar themes to past issues of Mark going to therapy, everybody trying to figure out like what his deal is. Like, why is he hiding behind this mask? And we found out why in the last issue. He shared a great moment with, who was it, Tigra?
Yeah, Tigra.
I think that's who it was. I'm trying to figure out if I'm pronouncing it right. But Mark doesn't like anybody prying. And so he doesn't want that. So he's trying to help other people, including this gentleman named Terry.
Wait, thinking about it, I don't think I read Moon Knight.
You didn't read Moon Knight?
No, and I think I did too. Oh no, I didn't read.
Dude, it's phenomenal.
Oh no, I didn't read this. Oops, I forgot. I thought I read it. I put it in my red bio.
Dude, you gotta as soon as the show's over, you gotta read this.
This
What's
guy,
going on, man?
Comic Book Report. This guy has become one of my favorite people to watch.
I'm
outside of the normal people I watch. But if I can get a moderator to drop his YouTube link, he has been putting out a lot of great content. He's always super supportive in everyone's chats. So make it a point to definitely show him some love in return. What's going on, Fit? Annapolis was great, man. I know we missed you, but we'll have to link up soon, my brother. I didn't read Moon Knight. God damn it. I didn't read it.
Dang.
But keep talking. Spoil it. Give it the full rundown.
I will, but I just subbed to a Comic Book Report. But yes, so he's in therapy, and he's basically telling the therapist how he regrets his decision to follow Khonshu, because he's like, and he I guess Mark is Jewish, and he uses the example of Egypt and the Jewish God taking the Israelites out of Egypt. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, my dad always talked about this growing up, and how our perseverance was what made us who we are. And he said, and then I die. I have this craving for violence. He basically said, I abandoned the God who took us out of Egypt to follow the one who kept us there. Yes, I regret my decision.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know why this just slipped, but
dude, it hits even heavier when you actually read it. So me spoiling it, you'll still like. And so basically, he thinks like, okay, if I'm not Moon Knight, I would rather be anybody else other than Mark Spector, because Mark Spector cannot make a right decision to save his life.
That's the interesting thing about Mark Spector. He's a very challenged person, I would say. So Moon Knight is really his outlet to do what he does, and it's just fueled through his, not his vengeance like Batman, but he's just pure rage. I think sometimes Moon Knight's just angry at the world, while Batman is sometimes more held back. Moon Knight just is a lot darker. I can say Moon Knight can be much darker than what people do in comparing. Thank you, Link, for dropping his link. Yes, everybody sub him up right now. Drops great content. I guarantee you're going to have a blast.
Now, Mark Spector, to me, and I think this is why I enjoy the character so much, he is, to me, and I don't want to discount him, but I'm going to say it anyway, if Matt Murdock did not have a moral compass,
if Matt Murdock
that would be Mark Spector.
And look at the compass, but
okay, fair enough. But I very much get heavy Matt Murdock vibes from Mark Spector, although they are totally different characters, and I love them both for their own different reasons.
Oh yeah, Moon Knight's fantastic. Like I'm so ready for Oscar Isaac to really just do his thing and deliver. But Jed McKay just
and he hit you with a twist at the end too, where the dude he went to he's helping these two dudes, Terry and a veteran, they call him Soldier, who used to work for Hydra, but he's trying to, turn himself around.
Right.
And you find that out in this issue. Well, Terry tells Moon Knight, or Mr. Knight, or whatever, whoever he is at the time, that Soldier is selling him out, is basically compromising the Midnight Mission. And so he goes to confront Soldier, and turns out Terry was behind this all along, and he becomes this new villain named Zodiac, which I think is super cool. I am so down. Yes, I mean Leto Atreides. Thank you, Link. Thank you. I cannot wait for this book to continue. Oh my gosh.
So we do have a question. I love when you guys ask us questions. If you want to ask us more questions, I highly encourage it in the comment section in the chat below. Not sure if you guys ever talked about the Netflix version. Did you like the Daredevil show? Daredevil show is one of my favorite. Is actually probably my favorite show of all time. I love it.
Same here. And the difference between me and you, that show got me into the character in the first place.
Yeah, my experience with this is I read the Miller run, and I finished the Soul. The Soul run was kind of going on at this point, so I was like nose deep into that. And then the show came out. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
My first ever Daredevil comic that I bought off the stand was actually Daredevil 612.
That was like the last one.
It was Charles Soule's very last issue, but it allowed me to jump into the Zdarsky run a little bit later.
Jed McKay is writing Moon Knight now. Jed McKay with Alessandro Cappuccio on art. He's a newer artist, but very, very talented.
Rachel Rosenberg on colors. She can, she has to get a mention. Oh, my Lord. She's been around, but I mean, her colors are probably the highlight of this book sometimes.
100%. I read The Amazing Spider-Man 78.bey.b.bay. This is not my bay. This book was just, I don't know. Okay, I dislike it when Spider-Man does this. I thought we were out of the phase where you just threw in random books, or you could at least make this like a side story and make this like a mini series that ties into the book. Kind of like you don't need to read it, but it's not important to the main story, but here you go anyway if you want that avenue. But this is like this is like kind of a weird that it's not beat up by. We got Perry in here. Stay, Sean. What's up, Sean? Stay, Sean. Stay, Sean. Okay, what's up, Perry?
Sean.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Shun-Chi's alias? Excuse me, I'm trying to think. Shun-Chi? Yeah, I think I'm getting it right. I'm gonna get it right one of these days.
Yeah. So this book is about the Beyond Corporation and how they hired Misty Knight and Colleen Wing to train Ben Reilly, but something goes wrong. And this is how Monica Rambeau gets introduced to the books. In the last issue, we ended with Monica Rambeau. This just tells us how that happened. That's it. So the art was by Carlini. I never heard of this artist. Eleonora Carlini. Jen McKay wrote it. So it was fine. I didn't particularly care for it because I don't know. Jen McKay's writing is always like, okay, I'm going to throw in little bits of history and make you feel like I've read everything.
Yeah.
And he does that basically by saying like Colleen Wing making a joke when they were talking about the X-Men. She's like, I don't know. Like, or Misty's like, I don't know. I've never dated an X-Men before. And obviously that's a reference to Colleen Wing and Scott Summers after Jean died.
Yeah.
You know, so he's like, that just that was like a punch to the face. I'm like, damn it, Jed. But
well, okay, yeah, really, like Jen McKay's a phenomenal writer when he's telling his own story. If he has to carry off of someone else's story, then he doesn't do that great of a job. Like when he did that Man Without Fear limited series after the Charles Soule run.
No, this is not. I don't think this is a project that Jen McKay particularly cared to do. But you know what?
But if you read like Moon Knight and Death of Doctor Strange that are his stories.
Right. It's like, take it for what it's worth. It's giving you information about how Monica Rambeau came into this whole Beyond Corporation mess, how they're training Ben Reilly, what Colleen and Misty, what their purpose is. They're strictly... Remember that one episode in Star Wars: The Clone Wars where they were training the clone cadets and they hired bounty hunters to train them? That's exactly what happens. That's exactly this. It's that simple. So it's a very simple story, just told in a better than average way, but I still don't care about it. So I can just dismiss it, take it for what it's worth. Another book I do want to give a little head nod to is The Nice House on the Lake. This book is going on hiatus now. I believe they're releasing the trades in 2 parts, so it's 6 and 6. This book, after reading this issue, looking at the whole series, it'll read much better in the trade. So if you haven't checked this out, trade wait. Just pick up the trade. It's worth giving it a read. It's worth giving it an experience. However, a lot of people have been very high on this book. I'm not, because I know that I'm going to experience it a lot better in the trade. So am I enjoying it? Yes, but I'm not really investing in it like my time and attention to make it a point to read it every week, because I understand that I'm going to understand the characters, understand this world much better in a trade. This seems like it was written for the trade almost.
Well, Tynan in general seems like a very... Like he's a trade writer for me. Like even Something is Killing the Children, I am exclusively reading that in trade, and I adore it in that format.
Right. So there's that. I mean, I still enjoyed this book, but I think I think a different format is going to be a lot better. What else?
Do you think that for those of us reading it in trade though, like, or once you read it in trade, that you will be championing this book?
Like Something is Killing the Children. Yeah. I think I have the capability of talking about it the same way everyone else is, but you got to also imagine there are a lot of people out there that, because that's like the talk of the town, they want to hop on the bandwagon like, oh my gosh, this is the best book. No, it's not. It's not the best book by any means necessary. It's not its best horror book by any means necessary, but it's still 8 out of 10.
Which 8 out of 10 is a solid read still.
I think that they're going to learn from their, I don't want to say mistakes, but something that people had an issue with is you didn't know any of the characters a whole lot. There's so many characters, condensing it into 6 issues. I think they're going to give us a character chart in the trade, or at least they should. But even the trade itself will allow my brain in particular to map out these characters a lot better.
Because you'll be able to binge it too, though.
It is a B on a test, exactly. So I give it a B. I liked it. I enjoy it, but I'm not like championing it like everyone else. I think a lot of people are championing because it's like, oh my gosh, I like this book. Do you like this book? They're obligated to say, oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Stop it. It's a good book. Leave it at that. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's good.
I'm excited to check it out in trade. I might end up just waiting the full 12 to see if it gets like a deluxe treatment.
Oh, it'll get a deluxe treatment. That's
because I feel like that art style
Well,
was super cool and would be fantastic in the deluxe format.
I mean, DC itself has been pushing those trades and those hardcovers heavy lately. So I think it's going to get granted, unless James Tynion does something to heavily piss off DC in the next few months. But I don't think that'll happen.
Well, even like Strange Adventures, if it's like, because that's the same team that did Mr. Miracle, that's going to get a deluxe eventually.
Have you seen that Strange Adventures trade? It looks or that hardcover looks gorgeous.
I've seen the hardcover. I don't know whether or not I'm going to get it just because it's not a deluxe, and I kind of want to wait for the deluxe, but we'll see. We will see. You want to go ahead and talk about X-Books?
Only one.
I have one.
You have one. You have Sword. Okay, yeah, there are two. You can lead with Sword. I actually enjoyed that book.
All right, yeah, I really enjoyed Sword. So at the end of last issue, we find out that WizKid's kind of been a mole. He's not kind of been a mole; he has been a mole, and so we kind of get an introspective in this issue. And
yeah, but he's a mole for a purpose.
Yeah. If you guys know, WizKid's been probably my favorite character this run. It's been him and Abigail Brand, just because they're the ones that have had the most focus.
And you really liked this book.
I really enjoyed this book because it is an introspective on WizKid. We see, some of the stuff that's going on Araco with the with that whole Evil Legion or whatever they're calling over there. I forgot what they were called.
Evil Legion sounds fine.
Yeah. And what's going on with Storm, and we see some of WizKid and Cable's relationship. This is very much a bridge issue, but I still really enjoyed it. We find out that we find out what WizKid's plan is. Lethal Legion, that's the name of it. And what is happening to the Sword Station. So WizKid ends up blowing up a Sword Station and meeting with the leader of Alpha Flight, who is now working with Orcus. And then we find out that this was actually Abigail Brand's plan all along, and WizKid is a triple agent. What the freaking crap?
I was like, damn, man.
Like, Brand is even using PIM particles to see what's going on. Abigail Brand is just... Abigail Brand's a G. I love her. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Fable? By the way, guys, the Fable tonight has returned. 2 episodes in. Make sure you guys check them out. They had Geeks Unleashed, our friend Mark. So that was a fantastic episode. They had a blast. I had a blast. Watching that show, you just get a whole lust of energy, of positive vibes. So go check that out. That is the Blame Fable tonight, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The lead-in for Rockin' Robbie Live. Also, if you do want to have some of the lead-in to the lead-in, you can catch Verno premiering at 5, who does Verno's thing. Verno's great.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Sword definitely has been one of Marvel's better books. It's been one of their most consistent.
Oh, yeah. Eric agrees. I see him.
Yeah, Eric agrees. I was
Eric
agreeing with Eric. I would maybe put it at the number 5 spot. But yeah, it's ongoings definitely. It's definitely one of Marvel's top 5 ongoings.
Yeah, I would agree. I actually really enjoyed this issue. I was like, I've been enjoying this book, but this one was like, this is why I love Al Ewing. He just builds and builds and builds, and he's so thoughtful. Yeah, he is so thoughtful about when he strikes. And I was
this is probably my favorite issue since issue 5 with Magneto and Fabian.
Knowing Al Ewing, this is just the beginning for this book.
Oh, I can't wait.
Knowing Al Ewing, this guy has a treat in store for us. I'm so excited. This book was great. The art was actually really solid. I know the art's been a little bit inconsistent.
They've been changing artists a lot, trying to find a new mainstay since Valerio left.
But Jacopo Camagni. That was great. That was great. We got Bobby Delegato in here. What's going on, Bobby? And then the other X book coming out this week, X-Force by Ben Percy and Gill. I believe his first name is Robert. But, Marvel has been horrible where they put their credits. And yeah, Robert Gill. This book is really weird. This book was great. I really enjoyed X-Force this week. This is their 25th issue, so they didn't do anything special. Like, we're putting on the cover, but it's a typical story. So, straight into through the narration of Wolverine right now. He gets this awesome surfboard made by Forge. It's like also a weapon. So he gets to ride the waves of Krakoa. It was fun. And he gets to ride the waves with some other people that were doing so. Wolverine gets hurt. And this is like kind of speaking on like how tough surfing is as a sport. Because like if you get trapped in the wave, it can like hurt you bad. So like Wolverine like went to the bottom, and these people had to save him. Just like this man, just like it was cool. Just the visuals of Wolverine just riding the waves with his claws were great. And then the other part of the story, we see Kid Omega and Phoebe, who's one of the Cuckoos. Their relationship was, it was weird. So like,
I dropped X-Force, but I will say I did really enjoy their relationship.
Well,
they broke up. I'm glad I dropped it.
So anyway, how they broke up, we
were just getting some development for Quentin. That like.
Well, I didn't like the way Quentin was drawn. I didn't like the way he was drawn because he was drawn sometimes as an adult, sometimes as a kid. I was like, make up your damn mind. So it was funny. So Quinn shows up with like this thing in the sky, like Phoebe plus Quentin in a big heart, kind of like little cheesy shit, right?
Yeah.
And so then they go, they're talking, and Quentin brings them. I would say it's droppable. I would say if you had to drop an X book, nothing's really happening in X-Force, so drop this.
They've not even moved that freaking Terraform story forward.
No, they haven't at all. But yeah,
in 2 years.
So this is just a fun book. I liked it, but if you're not reading it, you don't really have to. This is not important at all whatsoever. If you just like some of the characters, I'd say read it. If not, not worth caring about. But I do care about the characters, so I give a crap.
I mean, I do too. It's just I can't spend money on that every month. Like it's just.
Yeah. So the story is they're looking after like a lot of these mutant babies, and this one in particular, their powers developed at birth, not over time. So Quentin wanted to like investigate it, and Phoebe ends up breaking up with him because she's like, "You're asking for too much right now." Yada yada yada. We'll end up the people that Wolverine was serving with stole the babies, and that's their next heist is to return these babies. But you know that's the weird thing about Krakoa is these infiltrators who got around the CIA, the FBI, the CIA of Krakoa. I'm like, bro, you're kidding me, right? But yeah,
that's just
cool.
I will say with your point about how hard surfing is. Yeah, I mean, I took beginner lessons in Puerto Rico after my high school graduation, and I couldn't even get past that.
Right.
Good Lord, I don't know how people do it.
Before we talk about any Bat books, the Bat books came out this week were a little excellent, except for one in particular that I do want to kind of rag on a little. I'm not going to rag on it. I'm just going to say, so the history behind Robin's #1, there was a round robin of a bunch of different creators and a bunch of different titles.
Tear this junk apart.
And the people got to vote. And I didn't vote for this one. I voted for the Green Lantern one. I voted for the Simon Baz story that Stina Grace was doing because I was really excited about that. But we got Robins by Tim Seeley, who has proven to be a very average writer. This book is a very below average book. And let me tell you why. The art was... Okay, first off, the story is we start off talking about robins. The bird, Robin. The bird. Yeah, the bird. The bird, you know, from Family Guy. And it's through this villain who's using those birds to talk to the devotees of anarchy to fight the Robins. This brings all the Robins together, right? So you got Stephanie Brown, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, and Dick Grayson, and Jason Todd, of course. But everyone is drawn so stupidly, and this book is not supposed to be canon. So I shouldn't see canon references to Damian calling out Tim Drake for calling himself the Drake for the thing Bendis gave him in Young Justice, which I really
Drake.
The fact that you did this, Jason Todd was so out of character. Nightwing was out of character. Every person in here, just through the dialogue, felt so out of character. And it was through these Sons of Anarchy, through this lady talking to these Robins to bring the Robins together. It's a cliche story. I don't care.
She was talking to the birds to go get the Robins. She was
talking to the Robins to go. It was like she's sending out little owls from Harry Potter to these Sons of Anarchy to rile them up to bring all these Robins together. And I'm like, so it gets better. It gets better. You want something a little bit more cheesy? They're sitting around the table talking about, is it worth it being a Robin? Why
Now
is it
that would
Barry
actually be a
Robin?
cool conversation that I would like to see had
Yeah,
in
but
a
it was
canon
written in
story.
such a bad way. Damian Wayne, his only thing he had to say was, "I was born to be Robin." He's like, "I was born to be Robin." Damian
He
has
didn't
never
say
really
blood son
accepted.
at least once. I'm disappointed.
He has never, ever, ever really, really wanted to be Robin. Damian Wayne never really had a crave to be Robin.
He wants to be Batman.
He wants to be better than Batman. He wants to,
Yeah.
and this is a kid that has a lot of pressure on him. I give Damian a lot of props, but this narration was just not great. Someone I was talking about earlier, a very beautiful person is here, Verno. What's up, Verno? How are you doing? And we got some singing. We got singing. JT, that is Brother Joe's job to sing that song. Brother Joe loves to sing. I love Brother Joe. But
Lord,
this book was so damn terrible. And I never rag on books like that. Unless your name is... I liked Nick Spencer's Spider-Man over this book.
Really? Oh, Lord.
I would take any issue of Nick Spencer's Spider-Man over what I just read. And these are handling some of my favorite characters that I was actually
I did vote for this book, and I was going to pick it up until I heard what some of the people who read the digital version said, because this was a digital first series. And it just... Oh...
It was bad.
It breaks my heart. It really does.
It's a necessary book. It's a necessary book. We should have a Robin's book. But no, this is... Now, Tim Seeley has written some parts of Batman Eternal, which I enjoyed. He wrote Nightwing, which I didn't. He did some Green Lantern stuff that I didn't enjoy. He did Grayson. That was average.
I've heard really good things about Grayson, and I've heard decent things about his Nightwing. But I think a lot of people retrospectively like his Nightwing compared to what came after.
I hated it all. I couldn't stand it. Well, it was just all kinds of... It was all kinds of like...
DC. Can we get Joshua Williamson writing a Robin's book? Like, you saw what he did in Robin issue 5. Can we get that in like a 10-issue miniseries?
But Tom King did Grayson too, but Tom King wasn't necessarily handling as much of a script as people give him credit for. He was more like a co-collaborator. I've asked Tom about that. That's it. But oh my God, that book was bad. Let's talk about something else.
Talk about Nightwing.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. I guess then we'll go into the other Bat book.
I mean, yeah. Well, we got a couple more, but,
It's just...
this book was actually solid. I actually really enjoyed the Fear State tie-in to Nightwing. The whole 3-issue arc. Huh?
It was fantastic.
Yeah. I thought the Nightwing stuff was stronger than the Batman stuff.
Right.
But, it opens up after the backup story in Batman where the clock tower explodes and everything. And, they don't know that Cass and stuff got out, but they did. And so they meet up with each other and they decide they're going to go infiltrate this sky base to try to find the Seer, otherwise known as the fake Oracle. Oh, yeah, Link, I agree. He also shot Dick Grayson in the head.
Those are all Dan DiDio moves.
But he wrote them. No,
those are all Dan DiDio moves. Those are all shots called from the guy who's no longer having a job.
So there's a reason Alfred? For that. Where is he?
I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Where is he?
I hope.
Oh, me too.
I hope.
Yeah, they decide they're going to go knock off some peacekeepers, take their uniforms, and go infiltrate the sky base. Which I thought looked awesome, especially like this little splash right here, this little one-page splash.
Oh, it was great.
That's like pin-up worthy right there.
Who did the art on this? Robbie Rodriguez.
Oh, great. I should probably go over the credits. Yeah, Tom Taylor with the writer, Robbie Rodriguez on the art, and Adriano Lucas, as always, doing the colors.
It's a good book.
Oh, yeah, and so this is kind of where Fear State really should have ended, because this is wherever they take down the sky base and put it in the water. And it's a lead-in into the Batgirls series, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get or not. I hope I am, but I don't know if I am. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in it, though.
What's going on, Ron? What's going on, Ronald? Good to see you, my man. Good to see you, sir.
I'm excited about that book, whether I get to read it firsthand or just hear about it.
I'll always blame Didio. I'll blame Didio for half the stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Didio didn't make the best decisions. But yeah, Nightwing, as always, continues to be one of DC's strongest books, even within an obligatory tie-in.
So screw that Didio. Nightwing is a great character. So suck it.
Oh, and guess who else has a fantastic book that I'm going to be talking about next week? Wally West.
Boom.
We're just fingers crossed for Roy Harper.
Yeah, right?
Fingers crossed for Roy. Black Joshua Williamson's my guy. Why is he torturing Roy Harper? You're better than this, Josh.
Yeah, come on now. Get it together, bro. Oh, my gosh.
Man. Yeah, Nightwing was fantastic. Were there only 2 Bat books out this week?
Yeah, like there was not. Well, technically there was that clusterfuck of a book, but
yeah.
That we talked about before, Robin. Ugh. But all right, Batman 117. This is the finale of Fear State. Everything that James Tynion was accumulating to. This is where we have. So we got Simon.
It kind of ends here.
Well, he has an annual. He has like an Omega, but
okay, yeah.
It'll get collected in the big hardcover they give him because they do that. So
like
we got Simon
Joker War, which is actually a way better story.
Simon Saint's pissed off because everything's coming to a head. He's like he's like, screw you, Scarecrow, screw you, Batman, screw you, Mayor Nakano, and everything's just collapsing.
Screw you, Sean Mahoney, screw you, like everybody.
Screw everyone. He's like, screw everyone. I'm doing this my way. Going off Frank Sinatra on us and everything my way, you know? Someone who's gonna sing that in the chat, I guarantee you it'll be JT. But we have
I'll sing it right now. I did it my way.
So we had everybody from the Nightwing book in here in their suits. So that's how these books really talk to each other. I was like, okay, that's great because
they're hugging this issue.
They're like really came together here. We have Officer Mahoney, aka Peacemaker 01, fighting Batman, fighting Miracle Molly. Miracle Molly's trying to reverse engineer the insanity that Scarecrow has coordinated into Gotham. So she's taking care of that. Batman's fighting off Mahoney. And the art in this, guys, oh my gosh, this is some of the best.
This is the best looking book of the week.
This is the best looking book I have seen in a very long time.
Jorge Jimenez and Tomio Mori.
Easily the best artist in comic books right now. I don't care if anyone says anything different. Jorge Jimenez, guys. Fantastic. Sheena, what's up, Sheena?
He is continuing in Joshua Williamson's stint after a short break.
Jorge Molina.
Jorge Molina.
Whose art looks great anyway. His art's fantastic. So another thing that this book did was it got rid of the clone of Poison Ivy. We got Poison Ivy back, and we got a great moment between her and Harley, because this obviously affected Harley with their relationship. That was highlighted in this book. So we definitely got answers. Poison Ivy decides, you know what, I can spread some positive vibes in the Vine. And she does that. So this really, if anything, I want a James Tynion story highlighting Poison Ivy and Harley. I think if we got a Poison Ivy story, James Tynion could give us the horror of that book, but also give us the light that Poison Ivy gives and has been giving, along with Harley. So I think that James Tynion could actually do a great job with those two characters, more so in particular, Poison Ivy. So that's a great character that I would love for him to give more attention to. Anyway, this art was great here. This is actually like one of my favorite relationships in comics. The animated series really put that over the edge. Sheena, I thought of Sheena when I saw this because I know that she's a huge champion of this relationship as well. So Sheena, I'm thinking of you. So Mahoney's not giving up. Batman just basically, he takes care of business. The dialogue in this book was great. Batman's acting all tough, but then he got a little bit softer when Miracle Molly, she not only re-engineered it, but she could trigger it and get rid of everything, but wipe everyone's memories. So Batman ends up taking off his mask. So I can only count so many times that Bruce Wayne would take off his mask for anybody.
Absolutely,
so he has a lot of love for Miracle Molly. I have a lot of love for Miracle Molly. I actually think she's a great character. Out of all of the Tynanverse characters that he's created, Miracle Molly is by far my favorite. So I give a big head nod to her attention here. Her and Batman link up so Batman can really show her that, hey, Gotham is not as bad as you really think it is, even though it's really in the shitter. The bat signal comes out, which is something we haven't seen throughout this whole tenure of Tynan. So then we get all of the Bat family members looking up in the sky, seeing the bat signal, which it's almost like Wolverine not using his claws for a long period of time, and you see it, you're like, whoa, that was really caught my
everybody
eye.
there other than Jason and Damian.
Well, Damian's off doing his own thing, and
Damian's off doing his own thing.
So is Jason.
What is Jason doing right now?
I don't know. I'm not reading the book. I don't know where Zdarsky left it because I wasn't reading it.
That's fair. See, I didn't either. Hopefully they collect just that story though that we can.
Right. So then we leave by like this flower is sprouted, right? Kind of like through Poison Ivy, and we get Bruce hugging Miracle Molly, and that's what ends this book. That's what ends this Fear State. So I don't see any ramifications yet. I guarantee that's gonna come in the Omega that's coming out soon. No guarantee, but knowing Tynan, he'll wrap it up there. Overall, I liked this issue a lot. I just didn't like how abruptly it ended.
Yeah, it was a fine issue. It was for all intents and purposes, it was a good issue.
It just, the one thing about Tynan's Batman is we hold it in comparison to Something is Killing the Children, to Nice House on the Lake, to all of the other books, Department of Truth, that's been absolutely amazing. And we look at this book and it's like, it's not that amazing.
Nah, it's
but it's
you could tell he checked out of this book a while ago.
Yeah, it looks amazing, but Tynan is checked out writing this, which that's a great way of putting it. Historically speaking, where do I see this? It's good. It's not great. It's very surface level. It's exactly what's there. There's nothing to think about. And I think a Batman book, what I really look for is that thought-provoking interest, and that's just not there. There's nothing about this book that's thought-provoking at all. What's going on, Chet? But
yeah, if you're a Batman fan, you either you've either read this run already, or you will go back and read it, and you'll just be able to have a good time and just kind of it's light. Other than like Joker War, it's just a light, fun Batman run.
Right. It is what it is. I wasn't blown away by it, but it's cool, great.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Williamson. Amen to that.
Me too. Also, just real quick, you talk about Harley and Poison Ivy being one of your favorite relationships in comics. Just going back to this real quick, I love that this book has highlighted my favorite relationship in comics.
Okay, if I had to pick one, it would be Dick and Barbara.
And not to end on a negative note, I had to say one more positive thing about a fantastic book.
Right,
it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, basically,
that is James Tynan's Batman. It is what it is. There's nothing else. There's nothing to dive into. None of these characters, with the exception of Miracle Molly, is I have any interest to keep reading and keep engaging.
I would love to know more about Clown Hunter, but I don't know if there's any more story for him anytime soon.
In Gotham, there's nothing without Joker.
Yeah.
All these characters, except for Miracle Molly, were so tethered to the Joker. What makes Miracle Molly such a great character is she don't have anything to do with any of that nonsense.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can use her anywhere else. You can't use any of these other characters. Maybe Ghostmaker, but again, Ghostmaker is something we've seen before. We've seen Bruce's past. Hush is a prime example of Bruce's past coming back to haunt him. The Court of Owls, Talent, is an example of his past coming back to haunt him.
I could see Miracle Molly actually going on this worldwide adventure with Bruce.
So, I'm ready for Batman Incorporated Part 2. I got 3 books left.
You got 3 books left? I'm out.
You're out. All right,
I'm out of books. Hey, you took my first one, Radio Apocalypse, man. Come on.
Oh, I thought that was yours. All right,
it's all good, man. It's all good. My voice could use the rest. Anyway.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, issue 5 of 8 by Tom King, Bilkis Evely. So we found Krem, right? This girl, I honestly forget her name at times, if someone in the chat can remind me, throw a quick little reminder of her name. But Supergirl and her are fighting Krem, and he transports them into this planet in which it hinders. The sun is green, right? So the sun is not powerful. It doesn't enrich Supergirl's powers. It actually diminishes them. Apparently, Superman was there for about 45 minutes, and it almost drained him. Supergirl was able to last, I think it was like 12 hours, 11 hours or something. So she had to get to water because of, like, I guess the reflection. But they were just fighting monsters. This girl was like fighting Supergirl. They have a lot of great moments, but Supergirl is really depending on her in this book to get her through all of this, which I actually like really enjoy because for so long we've seen it the opposite. She's really dependent on Supergirl. So we're fighting a bunch of like dinosaurs, a bunch of monsters. This world is great. Bill Casavely's art is so stunning. Tom King's narration of this character is great. And just the thought process of the main character in here. Again, I forget her name just because it was not mentioned in this issue particularly. And it's like a monthly book. And I'm just like, there's so much stuff going on. I just cannot remember it for the life of me. But this was great. Eventually, Supergirl regains her powers. She brings her to water. And as Supergirl is draining, her energy's draining. But she's getting impatient, doing like normal human reactions. This book was great. If you're not reading Supergirl and you're waiting for the trade, okay, great. But make it a point to pick it up when it does come out. This is actually one of the better Tom King books I've read. If you've read Superman Up in the Sky, you enjoyed it. This book is up that alley in the fact that it's what Tom King looks up to.
Really? Huh.
When he sees that Superman, Supergirl person. And in many ways, Supergirl is not highlighted the same way we highlight Clark Kent, but still.
Well, isn't she been depicted as like stronger than Superman a lot of times? And
yes,
like more durable?
And it was today. In this issue, it was. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this book. Not because I'm a Tom King fan, but I just love, because this is a different kind of narration that we've seen in Tom King. This isn't anything like the way he's writing Batman. It's not or that he wrote Batman. It's not like he wrote Human Target, or Mr. Miracle. Those kind of follow the same format. But this is a different kind. This is almost like Sheriff of Babylon kind of narration.
Okay.
So
I haven't read that, but I've heard things about it.
So this is a little bit different. That Tom King is really growing as a writer. I'm glad that this is 8 issues because it kind of condenses Tom King and challenges him a little bit more. Clark grew up with subconscious limitations. Boom. Am I going to? No, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town, my man.
I don't know what I'm going to do on Black Friday.
But Ronald, I will hit you up when I do go back. But thank you so much for the kind words. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
By the way, if you guys are new to, if you made it this far, make sure you hit the thumbs up because obviously you're liking what we have to say. Subscribe if you're new, but also make sure you catch the show every Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We try to be here. The other 2 books I read, I'm going to keep it DC right now. Let's talk about the other Superman book that came out this week. Superman Son of Kal-El by Tom Taylor and John Timms, who still has my variant that I gave him, by the way, and has not responded to me. Thanks for the commission, buddy. But, it just has not responded to me. But anyway.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm going to... I've emailed him like 3 times, too. So, and we've chatted... Oh, my gosh. My bad. We have Chet in here as well. What's going on, Chet? I don't know if I said hello to you earlier, but thank you so much.
We did. But hey again, man.
Hey again, Chet. Good friend, the X-Men Lord. The X-Men God. The Omega Mutants, as I will.
Scotland Omega.
The Scotland Omega. So, John is suffering from the solar flare that hit him in the previous issue, so we're dealing with all of that. As heightened as his powers were, he's now having a crash. Like when you drink too much coffee in a day and you just like
he got overloaded.
You just like you're like a vegetable, and he's not really a vegetable, but he's stretching himself thin. The whole Superman worldwide concept that DC has been pushing was thrown in this by him going everywhere, hearing everyone's voices, their calls for help. So most of the book is building all that anxiety and all of that tension. Reading this book and him just jumping around from city to city, from country to country, you really do feel that anxiety that John Kent is feeling. Anyway, he gets a call from Jay through one of the friends. So he goes there and Jay's like, yeah, dude, you're all over the news. Like, dude, like chill, sit down. So he does. He ends up doing that after he's like, his powers are just draining. He's done. He sleeps for about 9 hours. He wakes up feeling a lot better. But then we're dealing with I find it so funny that the antagonist name is Ben Dix. You know, the guy who aged up Superman.
No.
John's name is Ben Dix. I was like, Tom, you're doing something. Tom,
no, it is not.
So that was so funny. So the iconic kiss between John and Jay right here. I do have a print of it. It was so that was a big pivotal moment in this book. And we leave by John basically going out on another. They're going to plot against Bendix, who is the leader of Gamora. That civilization, that country, the island rather. Sorry, I'm like a gas ball in my throat. But that's that issue. It was great. I really did enjoy that book. If anyone's yep.
Oh,
I've already seen it. Wait.
Yeah, I've seen it. I
Chet,
think I know what he's talking about.
Yes, sir. Chet, I think I know what you're talking about. The last book
9.8 and 4 signatures.
What's a signature?
I don't know. Chet doesn't have any.
All right, so we start Dark Ages number 3, another Tom Taylor book by Yvonne Coelho. Many people had this as their pick of the week. However, I did not. I know our friends over at the League of Collectors reviewed this book, did a great job talking about that, so I encourage you to do that as well. That link is in the description below, and I've also shared it. So go to League of Collectors. If I have a moderator that can drop that link as well to that video, I encourage you guys to check that out. But Tom Taylor. So we start out with Human Torch, Saint Flamon. He's at a party with his kids, and we find out everything that's going on with this post-apocalyptic era. We haven't heard from Captain America. We haven't heard from any of these other people, so they send Quicksilver in. So we have all these like hunting experts. We have Scout, Blade, X-23 going out, or Laura rather, Wolverine, all new Wolverine. Actually a great Wolverine. And so then we figure out what's really going on. Dr. Doom embarks on sending Quicksilver in to the threshold of everything, and he goes in and he sees his dad. So when he looks up, he sees Magneto tortured on the chair, similar to like the same chair that Rogue was in the first X-Men movie. I kind of put 2 and 2 together there, but this is all led by Apocalypse. Kilgrave, who is the Purple Man. So if many people who are unfamiliar with that character, he's a classic villain to Daredevil. You'll most recently know him as the main antagonist to Jessica Jones.
He's more of a Jessica Jones villain now.
Now he's more of a Jessica Jones. Thank you to Alias. That's a great work that Bendis did with his character. He was...
You mean Bendix?
Oh, sorry, Bendix. But he was in the Netflix series of the Jessica Jones one. That was just awesome, and I think everyone should watch that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we have all the brains put together. Mr. Fantastic is there. So Quicksilver comes back, and he's under the temptation, the manipulation of Kilgrave, of the Purple Man. So he runs around, he starts hurting people, and he kills Johnny. Well, Johnny gets so overloaded, and he just blows up. Invisible Girl, she's right there. That's her brother, and she's like trying to like keep him there, but he ends up dying, which I thought was... It was sad, like the way he built this up. And Quicksilver runs himself till he can't run anymore. So he ends up in the hospital. Sue is mad, but she's madder. She's madder that Reed was working with all these other big brains, right? So like all the smartest guys are working together for this. And we end up flipping to the end, which was a big tease. We see Miles Morales with both the Venom symbiote and the Carnage symbiote. So that's a big tease for the next. A lot of people freaked out over that.
Whoa.
I take it for face value because I'm like, cool. Tom Taylor has a great way of using characters where they best fit. Also using characters that he worked on before. Obviously, Wolverine and Scout, he's worked on them before. He's the reason why they're damn good characters. But, well, X-23 was better in X-Force before his tenure. But Tom Taylor humanized her and gave her more of a long-staying purpose.
Yeah.
What's going on with Miles is like cool. Using Kilgrave, I think, is the best part because it's a character we don't usually see in a lot of writers, a lot of fans kind of overlook. So that was very thoughtful. A lot of these other working pieces, like sending Quicksilver in, I think anyone could really think of. But kind of the narration of Kilgrave and how you send him back, how you really turn the tides, characters that we're not supposed to see working together, but it feels natural, it feels unique to this situation. I think that's a big strength of Tom Taylor's, is using all of these characters. This is an Elseworld story, so again, take it for what it is. This was great though, but this did have a lot of lingering thoughts. Not so much about the Miles thing, because I'm like, we're gonna find that out in the next issue. Show the cover. This was the cover right here. I don't know if you can see it with the ring light and everything.
Oh,
Yo, what's up? Yo, so
what's going on, guys?
Okay, guys. So if y'all are longtime fans of the channel, this is one of our favorite people, Ryan and Chad. Their YouTube is actually linked to ours, so if you just go to our profile, you can sub them up. But they're not really doing as much content. They're doing their Wednesday Warriors, they're doing their reviews here and there, but they're going to be more active in the summer. That's why you haven't seen them a lot on our channel, is because they've been really busy. But I'm so happy to see Ryan. I know this is Ryan, but if Chad is here, Chad, say hello too. But I'm so excited to see these guys here. These are
me too.
These are some of our absolute best friends that we've grown with and that we've gotten to know over the year and a half that we've known each other. So, God, I'm so happy to see them here. I haven't seen them yet. But those are all my books. My pick of the week was, what was my pick of the week?
Mine was Moon Knight. Still,
did I say what my pick of the week was?
No,
I don't think I have one.
But you haven't read Moon Knight yet, so
I have not read Moon Knight yet. But I think it might have been Sword. It might have been Sword or Supergirl.
Radio Apocalypse is up there.
Radio Apocalypse is up there. Yeah, that's it. Definitely not Robin. But anyway.
But yeah, we have a movie segment now. I tell Brandon to watch a movie every week. He watches it because he doesn't normally watch movies, and we're trying to get him more acclimated to the film side of pop culture. Brandon, what did you watch this week?
I watched Dive. I don't know who directed it, but I know who starred in it. Drive,
not Dive. Drive. Yeah, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. He's a European filmmaker. Super art house, super gritty.
This was a very simple story, and it was retired mafia likes girl dating bad mafia, bad thug, bad gangster. That was a very simple. It was a very simple story. Have I watched all three Back to the Future yet? No, but I've seen the first one, so almost there.
You're not almost there. Although you could maybe skip the third one if you're not a huge fan.
Can you remember?
But yeah, you're right. It is a very simple story. It's about a getaway driver who is trying to get out of a life of crime by helping this mother and her son, but then her husband comes home from prison and
shit hits the fan, or fan hits the shan.
Yeah, everything
it hits the shan. That's what you call it. Fit hit the shan real bad, and today's just another mucking fun day, I had a teacher once. He just walk in every Monday. He's like, "All right, class, it's another mucking fun day here today." And I was like, "Okay, great, thank you."
That's
but
hilarious.
Anyway, this is Ryan Gosling. You just look at the guy, and you look at Ryan Gosling. You're just like, "Yeah, that guy's a stud." She's looking at me like, "That's just one solid dude."
Dude, you wouldn't think of him being an action hero either, but he kills it in this movie.
He does. That
scene with the bullet in the club where he's holding the hammer.
I was really engaged with this movie, especially in the condition I was after my Steelers lost to the Chargers. And I was, God, Ben Roethlisberger. No, not Ben Roethlisberger. You did a good job, but God damn it, the defense. Where was the defense? Where was the defense? But anyway, I was in a bad mood watching this movie and made my mood a little bit better, so I give it that. I wasn't a big fan of the soundtrack. The cinematography could have been a little bit better.
Really? Okay. See, that's not a take people usually have on this movie, but I'm intrigued. What didn't you like about the soundtrack?
It's just weird. It was just weird. It was like I didn't think that it fit the tone, or like it made me deviate from the tone that I was kind of trying to engage with. I was like, oh, this is weird. But I think the acting and the emotion in this movie just really brought it together. Guys, I'm sorry, I don't review movies.
This is what
I don't do this. I review comic books.
Link, we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe maybe we need to try a little bit of an experiment here, because this is definitely an art house movie, but I intentionally showed it to you early. One, because it's one of my favorites, and two, like,
Bro,
I thought it would be
Avengers
something
were
cool to
missing.
see what you think about it now, having not watched a whole lot of movies. But then once we've had you watch a good bit, I might have you revisit this one and see what you think then. Because there's a lot of tropes in this movie that are flipped on their heads. It's not your typical like action movie. It's not your typical action getaway driver movie. It's very much a character study, and it's very much it's art house. It's different. It's different.
I was very attached to the relationship between the two characters. Oh my gosh, maybe I will like Fast and Furious, you know?
Maybe, or I'll give you a better movie instead of Fast and Furious if you want to watch another movie about a getaway driver, Baby Driver. Baby Driver is phenomenal, and it's more your typical driving action movie. But no,
I like the movie.
Yeah.
I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10? Okay, that's respectable. That's respectable.
7.5. 7.5.
Link's putting you on blast down here.
Oh my gosh. When does this man not put me on blast?
That's fair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Baby Driver is great.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can I mute another can a moderator mute a moderator? Like, how does this like work in the hierarchy of YouTube? Does like a previous moderator get the right to mute a later added moderator? Because if so, do I have any? No, I'm kidding, Link. You're good.
Speaking of Edgar Wright, should I have him watch Scott Pilgrim soon?
I don't know if I like this segment.
Should I have him watch Scott Pilgrim?
I don't know if I like this segment.
You don't? Ah, man.
Anytime I stream with you, that's oh my gosh, good movie. Oscar Isaac, Ron Perlman,
Bryan Cranston, yes. Oh my god, he wouldn't get Scott Pilgrim. I didn't get it at first.
Anything else that the chat would like to say?
Brandon, look. Here's the thing. You with movies right now is like me with comics. Like, I'm going down the historical seminal runs of comics, and I'm building up the knowledge. So you are in one area where I'm at in another area
But you know more comics than I know movies.
Yes and no. I listen to what other people say and then act like I know it.
So, what are you doing on this show?
I'm reading the book. I'm reading the books. I read my weekly books, but like, it's cool to explore another art form, which is part of why I got into comics in the first place. So I think you will learn to love this segment. I think you'll learn to love it.
Wow.
And yes, Link, Link's right. We do love you and your growing taste in movies. I won't say your non-taste, your growing taste.
That sounds like a porno.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that.
That sounds like a really freaky porno. That just does not belong here in this chat.
What is Doctor Strange doing?
In the mouth of man.
Okay, next week. What should I have you watch next
You're not doing a show next week, remember?
I am doing it next week. I'm not doing it the week after.
Damn.
What should I have you watch next week? I got one. If you can find it, it might be a different one if you can't find it streaming everywhere. Watch Mallrats. It's a Kevin Smith movie, and comic books are heavily involved.
Always gotta wear shades around.
That comic books are heavily involved in Mallrats, and I think you'll really like it.
I'll give it a watch if I can.
You do need to give it a watch. It's funny. It's a different tone than the ones I've given you before. Because what did I gave you? Snowpiercer and then Drive. Yeah, Mallrats is definitely a different shift. So I think you'll like it. What do you think, Chad? What do you think? You think Brandon will like Mallrats? Oh man, but yeah, that's your assignment for this week.
Cool. I don't have an outro yet, but anyway, you guys.
Hey, yeah, thank you guys for joining us this week. It was a blast, just like every week.
This is a great show. This is actually one of they're all my favorite shows. This is a pivotal member of the channel right here. This is a great show. This was our first show, for crying out loud.
It was.
I've been collecting since 1960s. I'm still learning, but I'm about the new writing like Tom and James. I love watching you guys. Thank you so much, Ron.
Ron, if you've been collecting since the 60s, man, I'd love to see some of the books you were able to get a hold of.
Ron is the man. Ron is
You'll get that reference soon enough. Lord Lane.
But yeah, Ron's the man at Third Eye.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, if you guys like this show, you like what we do in Comic Scenes, you like all of our interviews, spread the word to your friends, encourage, say, hey, these two guys who talk about comic books, Comic Scenes, or these four guys, because we got Michael, we got Link as well, Stefan, the Bed Ritual Brother Station. See you, Manny. Thank you for popping in. But make sure you guys share us, all of your friends. More content than we did in the past. We had a great interview with Greg Hurwitz, AWA. Again, that link is in the description below.
Fantastic, yeah.
Along with, we just interviewed Marv Wolfman, which is a great show as well. And then what else do we have coming up? We have an interview with Jam DeMattis on December 4th. So we're continuing Creators Corner that way. And then that's exciting. And then we have, what else do we have? We have Christ on Infinite Rants. I believe that'll be dropping this week around 1 o'clock Eastern time. So stay tuned for that. We also just dropped our Hawkeye review by Matt Fraction and David Aja. So we're going into gear, full steam ahead for Hawkeye on Wednesday. So make sure you guys go check out that recent episode as well. We completely broke down the first volume, walked you through. It gave you all you need to know going into this film that we are going to see, or this TV show. I really enjoyed that.
2 days.
2 days. 2 days. Boom.
Especially with the rumors, and I know I don't like talking rumors, but I can't help it. They're talking about Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin coming back.
We're getting Echo. We're getting Madame Mask.
We're getting Echo and Kate Bishop, and I'm so excited.
Oh my God, my voice said we're touching the sky today. Guys, I'm just super excited. Thank you guys so much for your support. Always of the channel. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out.
Fable. He said that laugh kind of scared him. I'm sorry, man.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. From ours to yours. Stay tuned for us on Wednesday. Coming at you, we're going to be talking about our favorite Batman books. So Link and I will be going over our top 5 Batman books of all time. We're 2 honorable mentions. So I'm really excited for that. I think Link is as well. But stay tuned for that. Also, the PCP Army Bad Batch are going to be doing content all day on Wednesday. So stay tuned for some awesome people. All of their links are in the description below. So check them out, guys. Because
I got my top 5 Batman books right. I'm not on that stream, so I got my top 5 Batman books right here, okay? The Long Halloween, The Long Halloween, The Long Halloween, The Long Halloween, and The Killing Joke.
Fantastic Girl. That's a good list right there. The Fantastic Girl right there.
Yeah. What's up, Fantastic Girl?
Thanks for
Thank you. You too. You too.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm super thankful for everybody that's been a part of this journey. I'm very grateful to the awesome crew at Comics Kings, Bryce, Michael, Stefan, those guys, and all of you guys really do make this what it is and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. So I'm really grateful to just come on here and talk comic books and share my thoughts. So couldn't thank you guys enough for everything. And channel will be 1 year in April. So 1 year in April.
Can't believe it. It's fantastic.
1 year in April. We're almost at 500 subs. So that's not a. We'll get there. But
we're gonna have great stuff.
Oh, we're gonna have a
stuff for you guys.
Banger. We're gonna have a banger giveaway. I'm talking. We're planning it out. We're doing something special, you guys. I want to talk about it, but stay tuned to see some Creators Corners coming back on.
Oh yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Thank you guys so much. Stay